Your engine burns through oil faster than it should. Your transmission slips at the worst possible moment. Or your car just quietly dies at 130,000 miles. And everyone around you acts like that's just how it goes. Here's the kicker. It wasn't bad luck. It wasn't age. It was a handful of habits that most car owners repeat every single day without realizing they're slowly killing their engine. In this video, I'll show you 10 things you need to stop doing right now. All of them free to fix, none of them requiring a mechanic, that could easily double the life of your car. And don't miss the last one. It's the one habit that destroys more engines than any mechanical failure ever will. And almost nobody sees it coming. Let's get into it. Number 1, believing lifetime fluids actually last a lifetime. This is probably the most expensive lie the automotive industry ever told you. Lifetime transmission fluid. Sounds great, right? Wrong. Lifetime means the lifetime of the warranty, not your car. I've seen transmissions turned into expensive paperweights at 80,000 miles because the owner never touched the fluid. Transmission fluid breaks down, collects metal particles, and loses its ability to protect gears. The fix is simple. Do a partial transmission fluid change every 40,000 to 50,000 miles. It's a $100 service. A transmission rebuild is $3,000. You do the math. And if you think bad transmission fluid is bad, wait until you hear what stretched oil change intervals are doing to your engine every single day. Number 2, stretching your oil changes past 5,000 miles. I know what you've been told. Modern engines, synthetic oil, go 10,000 miles, no problem. And for a brand new car sitting in perfect conditions, maybe that's acceptable. But for most of us, driving in real-world conditions with heat cycles, short trips, and stop-and-go traffic, that oil is breaking down long before the manufacturer's interval. Change your oil every 3,000 to 5,000 miles. An oil change costs $40. A seized engine costs $4,000. There is no debate here. But old oil isn't the only thing that can destroy your engine in silence. The next one can wipe out your entire engine in a fraction of a second with zero warning. Number 3, waiting for the timing belt to break before replacing it. Here's something nobody tells you about timing belts. When they snap, they don't just stop your car. In an interference engine, the valves slam into the pistons, and the engine is destroyed instantly, catastrophically, expensively. I've watched a perfectly good $1,200 car turn into scrap metal in a fraction of a second because of a $150 belt. Replace your timing belt and the water pump at the same time, early, between 40,000 and 60,000 miles. Don't wait for the recommended interval. Prevent the disaster before it happens. That $150 belt is the cheapest insurance policy your engine will ever have. A snapped belt is dramatic and instant. But the next habit is a slow, invisible killer that most people never even think to check. Number 4, ignoring your coolant, brake, and power steering fluids. Most people think fluids are set it and forget it. They are not. Coolant becomes acidic over time and starts eating your radiator from the inside out. Brake fluid absorbs moisture and lowers its boiling point, which means your brakes can fade when you need them most. Power steering fluid degrades and damages the pump. These aren't optional services, they are survival services. Flush them on schedule, and your car will reward you with years of reliable, safe operation. A coolant flush costs $30. A new radiator costs $500. A head gasket job costs $2,000. The math writes itself. Neglected fluids wear your engine down from the inside, but the next habit starves it of the spark it needs to even fire correctly. Number 5, neglecting spark plugs and fuel filters. A misfiring engine is a suffering engine. Old, fouled spark plugs force your engine to work harder, burn more fuel, and produce more heat, accelerating wear on every other component. A clogged fuel filter starves the engine and stresses the fuel pump, to the point where the pump itself burns out. That turns a $20 filter replacement into a $400 pump job. These are small, cheap parts with an outsized impact on how long your engine survives. Replace your spark plugs on schedule. Swap the fuel filter regularly. The cost is almost nothing compared to what happens when you don't. Small parts with a huge impact, and the next one is even smaller, even cheaper to fix, and somehow even more ignored. Number 6. Letting rubber hoses and belts age past 5 years. Rubber doesn't last forever. It dries, cracks, hardens, and then fails. Usually at the worst possible moment. A burst coolant hose will overheat your engine within minutes. A cracked serpentine belt kills your alternator, power steering, and water pump simultaneously. The rule is simple. Every 4 to 5 years, inspect and replace rubber hoses and belts, regardless of how they look on the surface. What's invisible on the outside is crumbling on the inside. A replacement hose costs $15. An overheated engine costs $3,000. $15. Rubber fails quietly and without drama, but the next one involves a tiny sensor that, when dirty, causes your entire engine management system to make the wrong decisions every single time you drive. Number 7. Never cleaning the MAF sensor. The mass airflow sensor measures exactly how much air enters your engine, so the computer can deliver the right amount of fuel. When it's dirty, it lies. The car runs rich or lean, fuel economy drops, and the engine labors under conditions it wasn't designed for. While most people have never even heard of this sensor, the fix couldn't be simpler. A $7 can of MAF cleaner every 15,000 miles. I've seen fuel economy improve by nearly 10% with one cleaning. That's money back in your pocket every single fill-up. A clean sensor costs almost nothing. But the next habit shows how trying to save money in the wrong place ends up costing you 10 times more. Number 8. Using cheap aftermarket parts instead of OEM quality. Look, I understand the appeal of saving $30 on a part, but cheap oxygen sensors, cheap fuel injectors, cheap ignition coils, they throw off the engine's finely tuned calibration. One bad sensor can cascade into a rough-running engine, failed emissions tests, and accelerated wear across multiple systems. Use OEM or OEM equivalent parts. The mechanical balance of your engine was engineered to a specific tolerance. Cheap parts don't meet that tolerance, and eventually your engine will let you know. Spend $30 more on the right part once, or spend $900 fixing what the wrong part broke. Cheap parts throw off your engine's balance. But what's worse is ignoring the signals your engine sends you when something is already going wrong. Number 9. Ignoring new noises. Your car is talking to you. A new knock, a new squeal, a new rattle. These are not coincidences. They are warnings. I've seen people drive around for weeks with a knocking rod bearing because they convinced themselves it was probably nothing. It was not nothing. It was the beginning of the end of their engine. The moment you hear something new, investigate it. Catch a problem early, and it might cost you $200. Ignore it, and it will cost you everything. Acting fast on noises saves engines. But knowing who to call when you hear them? That's a whole other conversation. Number 10. Not having one trusted mechanic who knows your car's history. Shopping around for the cheapest oil change might feel smart. It isn't. Every time a new mechanic looks at your car, they start from zero. They don't know what was done 6 months ago, what's been a recurring issue, or what quirks your specific car has. A mechanic who has known your car for years can spot a developing problem before it becomes a failure, because they remember what it looked like last time. Find one good shop and stay loyal. That relationship is worth more than any coupon. One conversation with a mechanic who knows your car's history can save you from a diagnostic bill, a misdiagnosis, and a repair you never needed.